Hey guys, Kevin here with Kaldi Coffee Roasters, and tonight I wanted to take you along on a journey, or roast along, on my home roaster. Alright guys, here is my home roasting setup here in my carport outdoors. And I purchased the Kaldi Fortis, as you can see right there. It is a 600 gram capacity roaster. And I was debating whether or not to get the Hookie. I was actually going to get the Hookie, but decided I want to do full 1 pound batches and not stress out the machine. And so I've been very pleased with the machine. As you can see, it's hooked up to Artisan here. I'm getting ready to roast a bean from Bodhi Leaf, as you can see, El Salvador. I'll let you read it all. It's a natural process coffee, 1500 meters. I have no idea how it's going to react in the roaster, and I wanted to bring you along for this journey, and we'll figure it out together. But also, if any of you out there are interested in the Kaldi Fortis, I wanted you to be able to see firsthand how I roast. This is by no means a review, although I do really love this machine. It's been wonderful for me. I've had it over a year now, and it's been a workhorse. It's really solid. It's probably 30 to 40 pounds, the roaster unit. I decided to go with not the perforated, but the steel drum, enclosed, fully enclosed. I forget what you call it. I guess steel. I'm by no means a professional. I've been roasting for 2 years now. I do own a small company, Kaldi Coffee Roasters, and I'm at the point now where I roast time on a bigger machine. So this is not my production machine, but it is neat to have at home as a sample roaster, or just to try out new coffees to have at home and share with friends. And so that's what I'm doing tonight. Kids are asleep, roasting some coffee for some friends, and I'm going to drink this probably in the morning too, just because I love coffee and I can't wait. But enough talking, let's go ahead and dive into the machine as we roast along. All right, I've got about 515 grams of this El Salvador Natural that we are going to load. Show you briefly my gas setup. So the burner right here I got from Barbecue Guys, I believe it is. I built this little cheap little wooden thing to protect from the flame from the wind, just so I can slide it in and out and light the flame. As you can see, it's lit right there. This piece right here came with this burner. I had to purchase this tubing. It goes all the way around up to this junction right here, which tees off to this Dwyer gauge, low pressure gauge, measures in kPa and inches of water. And I max out on this. Oh, just turn the flame off, I think. Nope, we're good. Max out at around just over 3 kPa, or 10, 11, 12 and a half inches of water. So that's my max flame that I get. And then from there, I have this handy little dial in pressure gauge, I guess. I don't know, I'm very not technical as you can tell. And I purchased actually all these brass parts and the Dwyer gauge on Amazon. I can share the links if you're interested. And then it comes to this gas can right here, or propane tank, that I get filled at Costco for $7.50, because gas prices are pretty cheap these days. So for data logging, I am using Artisan 2 free software. I have 2 thermocouples, one measuring bean temperature and one measuring the air temperature as it leaves the drum. And those come together out to here. And I added the fidget so that I can go straight from those thermocouples into the computer, and it reads Artisan. Had to do a little bit of reading and YouTube videos to figure out how to set it up, but because at that point a year ago they didn't have a preset configure machine for Kaldi Fortis like they do now. But yeah, I'm not an expert on it. I finally figured it out. All right, bean temperature and an exhaust temperature readings right there. And then of course, rate of rise is the third one down. It's reading 0, 0 because haven't started the roast yet. So 1500 meters is the bean. I think I'm gonna go probably 390, bump it up just a little bit. So, all right, I'm gonna put this back in place and we'll get rolling. So I'm gonna go ahead and start Artisan right here. We're at 385 and I'm gonna charge at 385 and turn the gas off so we can soak. I'm gonna turn the air down. Just gonna make sure that the gas is off, always check, and it is. So I typically will do a soak phase for about a minute. I'm hoping, I'll close this. I cannot roast and talk at the same time. We're at 30 seconds now and 228 on the bean temperature. Looks like it's dropping pretty quick. So I'm gonna get ready to fire this baby back up. We're at 200 now, 41 seconds in. It's dropping pretty quick, so I'm gonna go ahead and give it some flame. There we go. I'm gonna start with a full flame and we'll adjust as I see the rate of rise going up. Turning point should be here pretty soon. Yeah, it's a little bit lower turning point than what I'm used to. It is pretty cold outside tonight in Durham, North Carolina. I don't know the exact temperature. It does affect it for sure, 48 degrees. So not ideal for roasting coffee, but such is the life of a home coffee roaster. Can I get an amen? All right, finally, I'll show you. Getting a reading on rate of rise. We're at 215 on the roast. I'm gonna bump the air up just a bit so that it can begin. Let's check out the trier. Notice a little bit of negative pressure of some of the chaff. Yep, the beans are being pushed out, so I'm gonna bump that air up just a tad more. And you'll see how it affects the rate of rise. It's probably gonna pop back up here, yep. So being that it is a small machine, every little thing that you do will affect the curve, will affect the beans. So I'm not promising a pretty curve. I do try to stick with a declining rate of rise just because I'm fairly new to roasting, 2 years in, and I don't think I have enough roast under my belt to really know how each bean is gonna react. And so I definitely try to have enough momentum up front that will get me a declining rate of rise. So that's always the goal. Yep. Adjust the air up just a bit, right around 1.5, and that will obviously bring my rate of rise curve back up. We're approaching 300 degrees bean temperature, which means we are probably close to yellow. I think I would probably call that. Yep. So I'll go ahead and mark dry end, and now we will ride this baby out. I don't love how we are declining this fast. Shooting back up. Alright, that's a little bit too much. I will adjust the gas pressure down. It is climbing rapidly, and I don't like that. It always helps to have a plan when you roast a new bean, and obviously my plan wasn't very good. So as we approach first crack, normally I try to adjust the gas down when it gets about 20 degrees bean temperature before I anticipate first crack, which is around this time. So I did come down a little bit, starting to level out a little bit. Good thing is, you never know how it's going to taste based on a curve, or maybe you do if you're a professional. I don't. So I used to stress about not having a great curve, but the more roast I get under my belt, actually it's climbing back up, so I can't talk and roast at the same time. So here's some outliers, and we're still climbing. Man, this bean did not react the way I thought it would. 373, some more outliers. Getting ready to call it here. 378. Alright, that's first crack right there. So I'm going to slowly adjust our air up. Get some of that smoke out. I'm going to go ahead and get this back in place. Adjusting the temperature or the air back up again. We're at 13 rate of rise. About 10% development. We're starting to crash a little bit. 394.5 degree or bean temperature. We're at 1 minute and 15 seconds development. Put my glove on so I can touch the hot chaff tray that you'll be able to see here in a minute. So I want to kind of shoot for, let's see, probably about 2 minutes development. So we're almost there. 16% development based on the whole total roast time. Slight gas adjustment down for our landing here. We're at 400 degrees. We'll go ahead and drop at 2 minutes right here. So this is a little tricky with the Kaldi Fortis. You want to wait until all the beans have come out. Some of them get stuck in that little eyeglass right there. Take the lid off, and I got a little handy little nail that'll stick it on. Take the hot hand and grab the chaff. Take it out, put this bad boy on, crank it all the way up. Got my stainless steel spoon right here. Now let's start agitating. So I loaded 515 grams of coffee. I expect 13 to 14% weight loss, but we'll see here in a minute when I weigh it out. See if it's cool to touch. It is. Go ahead and pick a bean and pop it in your mouth. Pretty good. This calls for another one. That's nice. So once I hit off, it'll smooth the curve out a little bit. So not the prettiest curve, not the worst. We did end up with 2 minutes development time, about 18% developed, 10 degrees, 10.1 degree degrees per minute through development, and ending temperature 399.8. right at 2 minutes developed. So dropped at 11 minutes, 12 seconds. I charged at 385 and it shot up there and then shot down, which made it a little bit difficult. Obviously the lag right here. So hopefully that would have been more like this. But we'll see how it tastes in the cup. Not too bad. Pretty evenly developed. All right, folks, thanks for joining me in this roast along. If you have any questions, leave them in the comment. Please like and subscribe to my YouTube channel. I'm not a professional, as it shows. I did get this handy little mic so that you can hear me a lot better. I love roasting coffee and building a small business here in Durham, North Carolina. So follow along for the journey that I'm on. I'd love to take you along with me. I don't claim to be a professional. I am a hobbyist that has turned this into a small business, and I'm grateful to be able to serve my community with fresh, delicious coffee. So follow along, and we'll go through this together. Peace.